All right, how's it going? All right, a couple things I want to kind of add into this. So like I added this feature, but I can't move it back to awaiting approval. I accidentally moved it to verified and now it's stuck there. So that kind of sucks. So what I'm going to do, grab that description. I have to make a brand new item now, unfortunately. Paste this in there and I'm going to say, should be able to move an item. I recently added a feature where I could move verified items back to in progress. I meant to say, can I please move verified features back to waiting review? Actually, it's called waiting approval. Let's go to Kanban. Can I select that yet? Can't. It's also a bug. I need to fix that. Okay. Anyway, I'll just type in Kanban and then we will just kick this one off. Inside the add new feature modal, when I try to type into the category select. Yeah, this one's still messed up. This one is still not fixed. When I type in like Kanban and I try to select the drop-down link, it doesn't actually select it. In fact, sometimes it just closes the modal when I click it. Can you please fix this? All right, what else we got here? Can you please add a far right side panel that toggles open and closed when I press the right slash button? Okay, can I move this thing back? Nice, okay. That's fixed. I wonder if it fix this one. Let's try new. Yeah, it still doesn't work. See the attached screenshot? I should be able to click on the drop down where it says Kanban, like the values. I should be able to click on them and it should select that as a value. Can you please investigate what's going on the edit feature modal? Refactor the edit feature modal and the add feature modal to use the same form because they should have the identical type of functionality. What's up, y'all? AI has been a nice tool to integrate work, but it takes a lot of the fun from coding away from you. Yeah, I mean, or you can just have fun doing it. It's just a mindset shift. What's up, everyone? What's up, Sharon6830? The Jive. Cool theme. Yeah, we got a bunch of different themes here. I go to, I don't think I have any keys that I can leak here. Yeah, so a bunch of different themes. That one's pretty cool too. All right, for some reason, when I click on the category dropdown, is it fixing this thing? It's having the hardest time fixing like the simplest. Like I might actually have to go into code and fix this. I'm really not sure why I can't fix that. I noticed that when I press escape on the modal, I think that's fixed. On the agent runner inside the chat session, the message that comes from the user is the... Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's been fixed. Inside the add feature modal, when I try to type into the category, this is the one that it keeps breaking on. I recently added a feature where I could move verified items. Yeah, this one is good. For some reason, when I try to click on the category drop down, okay, inside the new add new feature, I'm just trying to type into the category. Yeah, this one ran too fast. I don't think it's done. All right, this one we might actually just have to fix ourselves. I'm not sure why that's not working. I think it's a shadcn issue. It's getting pretty big. All right, let's see. Category. Where's this one? Category autocomplete. Let's look at this. This thing is like broken. This thing using a shadcn component. Create portal. Can you look into this category autocomplete? For some reason, when the drop down shows and I try to manually click on a value with my mouse, it doesn't actually select the value. Just kick it off with cursor right now. I'm curious why this isn't using shadcn. Like I'm pretty sure shadcn has an autocomplete component. Honestly, I'm just going to close both of these things. There is a little bit of... I need to put some padding here. Can you increase the margin of the text and the buttons? So I put more gap between the buttons of the delete dialog and the actual text. Oh yeah, I never kicked this one off. Why is this one failing? Let's check out the logs. Key not found. You know, this could be because it was like, and Opus is really thinking on this one, huh? Oh, I gotta fix this. Let's see. This is probably the issue. My app's kind of broken. Can you go through my code base and anywhere I'm using feature under list? Can you go through my code base and anywhere I'm using feature underscore list.json? This should have been refactored away, and this should not be described in any prompt or any code. Instead, we should be having a features folder with each folder inside of that being a unique key for the feature being implemented. Oh, you know, I just thought of a good idea. Hold on. I'm going to do a new feature here. When a feature is done implementing, can you play a ding sound? I'll put a ding.mp3 file in the public directory so that you can actually find it and play it. And by done implementing, I mean move from the in progress to the either verified or waiting approval column, like when the agent's done. I need to go find like a ding free sound. Hey, that's pretty cool. Let's just do this one. Actually, I need to make sure it's Creative Commons 0. Creative Commons 0. We could probably customize these sounds later. All right, let's move this to... Dang, I can't get to it, can I? All right, where does this need to go? It needs to go to public. I could just probably put it right here. Go back to the app. Let's edit this. I'm going to put the path to it. I need to ask, someone added the thinking level stuff. And I'm curious, if you say none, that's probably fine. Yeah, why did this one fail again? Here's another little bug. So like when the thing, let me just do this. On the agent output modal, do not show the spinner in the top left if the feature is in the verified or the waiting approval column. All right, what's up, guys? Let's see. Very interesting approach. Question, though, from your experience, how often one of those parallel tasks messes up a core foundational piece of code that breaks other already working features? I mean, sometimes, but you just prompt it again and it kind of fixes it. Oh, look at that. It just did the ding for me, so that one's done. That one's done. Technically, you don't have to put it in the verify column. I could just delete it. What are we building? We're building a Electron app. Basically, me and my Discord, a couple members of my Discord have been kind of like coding this for the past 2 days. A lot of the work was from them, honestly. Like someone added in Codex and other people added some other cool stuff. What are we building? What's up, Cody? We slept a while ago and usually watch recordings. Never really dropped into a live stream. Well, welcome to the live stream. Using tweakcn or on themes? No, I don't think so. I think I'm just doing a custom thing. Just curious, what keeps you motivated these days? Just building stuff. It's just fun to build stuff. Oh, look at that. Done. So I think this, if I looked at the logs here, okay, yeah, that's gone now. Pretty cool. So I could probably just move that. It's hard to drag these cards. I don't know why. I might do like a little prompt for that. I'm finding it very hard to drag the cards. Can you make the click/drag area around the drag icon a little bit larger so that it's easier for a user to make sure they click on the right click and drag spot? Can you increase the margins of the text in the buttons so that I can put more? I want to be able to say like a view more button. Sometimes the text gets cut off. I think someone added a feature to like cut it off there, but I want to be able to just view the rest. So either double clicking the card to load up the full like feature could be useful. Double clicking it, I wonder. Let's see if this is pretty big. Yeah, it's a pretty big drag area now. It's much better. You know, we could just experiment with it. When I double click a card, can you just open up the edit card panel? I wonder what happens if I follow up. This one crashed. Can you try to run it again? Feature not found. That's weird. I don't know what happened there. I'm just going to delete it and start over. Can you please add a feature where when I click on the backslash key on my keyboard, it opens up a side panel on the right? Users don't need to know about this. This is literally just for me, for when I'm live streaming. Is this a desktop app or a web app? It's an Electron app, so it's desktop right now, but it's just wrapping a Next.js application, so technically it could be a web app. I think there's a Discord user who wants to do a bunch of refactoring on the project to make it work better in Windows because it's having like a lot of lag issues. But technically, if you wanted to make it a web app, you then have to make like some type of API the web app could access so that your web app could interact with your actual operating system and run Claude code and stuff. And do you offer student discounts for the Agentic Jumpstart course? I'd also like to collab on the Automaker project. Maybe at some point. Right now, I'm just selling the course as is. So maybe in the future, but right now it's just no. Will this ever be open source? Yeah, I think so at one point. I don't really care about making money. Hard to have fun with prototyping something to do the work for me. It's like having a machine solve a puzzle for you. Well, I mean, there's a puzzle in building a nice user interface that's something that's user interactive and has a good user experience that's not buggy. Like there's still puzzle that you're solving when you're building out something, even though you're using AI to do it. At least that's my opinion. How do you swap windows so fast? I have animations turned off on my Mac, so it like quickly changes. All right, let's see if I can toggle that right panel. It doesn't seem like it's working. Streamer notes. See, Opus went a little bit too liberal there. I need to describe it a little bit better. I didn't describe this well enough. I need the panel to slide out and push all of the content of the page over to the left, and the panel should have absolutely nothing in it. It's also doing the wrong key. Yeah, I'm using Super Whisper for the text. What's up, Super Combo Gamer? He's one of the people who's been kind of contributing to this project. Yeah, and Sharon 6830. He also added like codec support and a bunch of other stuff. Do you think a recent grad can build a startup without any experience in the field? I think you can build an initial prototype, but when you actually start getting a lot of users, that's when you're gonna have to get a little bit more technical to be able to like understand the scaling and stuff. But make the whole card draggable. Yeah, I thought about that too. I just wasn't sure. I mean, it doesn't help. It doesn't hurt to just try it out, right? Can we make the entire card draggable, but still allow users to interact with the buttons that are inside the card? Yo, it cannot fix this drop down. Like, it's having the hardest time fixing that. I've tried it inside our app. I've tried it over here. Nope, I still cannot click the things that are happening in the drop down. Can you go look on the internet to see? I still cannot. I still can't seem to click on the drop down values. Can you check Z-index or check other issues to see what might be happening here? Now, I'm going to switch it from something other than Opus. Like, I'm going to try Codex High Fast. Opus 4.5 is good, but like when it comes to like the harder bugs, it can't figure it out sometimes, you know? There we go. Oh, but it's the wrong button. This is great. It's a little bit too wide, and then also it's supposed to be the backslash, not the forward slash. Can we make the entire card draggable? Let's add that in. How can you verify that an AI-generated agent project is secure? Do you generate diagrams or have another agent perform a deep vulnerability analysis? I mean, at some point, like if you have these Claude Code terminals running on your machine, like it's just not secure. They can literally run bash commands. They can access your files. It's just not secure, right? And all it takes is like one prompt injection to cause it to delete your root directory or something. I think the safest way to run this type of application is you're going to have to containerize it. Like you're going to have to put it in Docker, or you need to host it on a VM. And then the VM is able to clone your projects and start modifying them. So I think the path forward is either containerize it locally, which means that Electron would then have to interface with like an API that's running inside the Docker container. And then you have to have like a shared volume mount and give it the projects, which sounds kind of like a pain. Or the Docker container itself, you could give it like a GitHub API key, and then it could actually clone your projects directly inside that container. That might be a much easier approach, and that would actually extend the project to be able to be like hosted on the cloud, so people could pay for a service to have this interface and like manage all their projects or something. But I mean, we've only been working on this for 2 days, so like it's good to not jump the gun and start like over engineering everything. This is meeting my needs for like switching between my projects and vibe coding on all my various side projects. And I'm happy with that, right? But I think there's ways in Claude Code you can actually turn off sandbox mode, and you can force it to like request permissions for every single command it's trying to run. That's a step in a safer direction, in my opinion. Hey man, should I learn to code focusing on just problem solving and building familiarity with core skills instead of any framework or language? It doesn't hurt to do both, because like when you're learning about a framework or a language, typically there's a lot of documentation and understanding their SDKs, and that's like a whole nother skill, right? It's like getting good understandings of how like their stuff works, and you will be problem solving trying to build with their frameworks. But I think it is also good to do a little bit of leak code, you know, just build some random side projects and stuff. How do I get into vibe coding, my friend? Get a Cloud Code subscription and start prompting. That's a good question. I do have a course, agenticjumpstart.com, where I teach you all the stuff I've learned along the way with agentic coding and vibe coding and using Cursor and Cloud Code and building out a full stack application. I'll walk you through how to do that in my course. So I am going to start pushing this course more on my channel. I mean, I've been getting tons of unsubscribes from my channel and downvotes on my videos. I just don't care anymore. Honestly, I don't care. Like, I really enjoy working with AI. I think it's fun. It's making me super productive. And I want to teach the things to the people who are actually enthusiastic about this. So if you want to check out my course, you can go to agenticjumpstart.com. And I'm just going to keep on working on this stuff. All right, entire card draggable. Very good. Okay, I think that's good. Let's delete it. On the agent output modal, yeah, the spinner. I think I fixed that one already. I want to add shortcuts to the delete. Hey, thanks for the subscription. The sub, whatever it's called. Yeah, I don't want the text in the card to be selectable. Can you make it so the text in the card is not selectable? I double click the card and then it selects the text. Can you add a button that says show more to the right of the text on the Kanban cards? Because I'm noticing that often my prompts are longer, but they get cut off really early. So I want to be able to click a button to expand it, to view all the other text, then also be able to toggle it back closed if I want to. Scuba Steve. All right, let's see. The entire web is a mock. I'm working on it right now. The automaker is so cool, but do you find it to be slow versus doing it yourself? I think it's good when you are AFK. Oh yeah. It's definitely slower. I think if you get really good at agentic coding, like you can churn out features much faster. Because even if you're seeing like right now, I'm not really providing context to files, and the agent has to go, like Cloud Code has to go and traverse my code base every single time and try to figure out where I'm trying to like make the change. And you do have to be very, very specific in the keywords, right? I know in my code base there is a file called Kanban. And so if I make a prompt and I want to change this Kanban board, I should probably make sure I use the word Kanban in my prompt so it can use a grep. Like if you don't know how Cloud Code works under the hood, it basically calls tools like grep and find to find files. And so if I go to my actual like here and type Kanban, there's a Kanban board and a Kanban column. And so if in your prompt you say Kanban, it can quickly find the files that you're talking about. And if you don't put that stuff, it's ambiguous and it can't really find out what you're looking for. All right, let's see if GPT-5 5.1 Codex finished. I really should sign up for a Codex subscription too, because we do have Codex support and I should probably be able to test it here. Oh my gosh, this still doesn't work. The hardest bug. This one I'll honestly probably just have to like do myself. For the add feature modal, inside of the category type ahead, can you make sure that you're using a shadcn component instead of rolling your own? There seems to be a bug where I cannot click on the values. Use context 7 to look up the latest info about shadcn. components, and I might even just go to shadcn. Let's go to components, and let's just go to, like, is there a type ahead? I think there's a combo box. Yeah, I'm just going to tag the combo box. I believe it's called a combo box. Let's kick that one off. Because I don't know what it's doing in my code base, but again, like, you sometimes have to get a little bit technical if you want to make progress on this. I think I've prompted Claude Code maybe like 7 times to fix this issue, and it still cannot fix this. Like, the dropdown, I cannot click on these things. And sometimes it just closes, right? So it's just super broken. And that's when, kind of answering your question you asked, that's when it's good to actually like do it yourself versus just letting these agents try to figure it out, because sometimes they just don't get it. Cody, what's this app about? Managing multiple agents for a project? No, it's about managing multiple projects from a single place, because I have a bunch of different like applications that I work on like my side projects. I have my personal website. I got, yeah, I don't even remember what I have right now. I'm kind of tired. I got this one. I got Icon Generator AI. I have the Video Crafter. I got my Agentic Jumpstart course. Just a bunch of stuff. And sometimes, like, I'll just see a little thing that I want to fix, but I don't have to go and like open the project in VS Code and then spin up my database and then spin up my service and then find the files and modify that. Like, it's nice if I could just go here. It's like, okay, I just need to go to Icon Generator. I need to go ahead and just kick off. Can you please fix an issue when I try to generate an icon, it fails? Like, you know how easy it is just to do that, and then I can go back to what I was working on? I will say it just deleted my card though, so that's probably something I got to figure out what's going on there. Why did it just delete my card? All right, let me scroll to the bottom. There's too many chat comments. Let's see. Right now, the automaker is private right now. If you buy my course, I'm giving people access to it. But for right now, we're just trying to polish it up, make it look nice. I'm using it as like a marketing strategy for my course, like an exclusive tool. I feel as though AI is useful for senior engineers, but for someone who's just starting out, it could just be a slippery slope given false sense or confidence. Yeah, I mean, I have been coding for so long that I'm like disconnected from how it might feel to be a junior. So honestly, I do not know. But all I do know is that the amount of code I'm able to ship much faster. And a lot of code is sometimes very tedious stuff that you just don't want to waste a bunch of time fixing. Like, I can just one prompt so many different little fixes. And I would never go back to not using AI, honestly. And there's people out there who are very anti-AI, but I don't, like, I'm blown away. I don't know how you could be anti-AI. Like, have you even used Opus 4.5? Have you used these models? Like, they get better every 3 months. They get even better and better. They're able to one-shot prompts that modify like 30 files in your code base. But hey, if you don't like AI, that's cool. But you don't need to go around leaving angry comments on people's YouTube channel because they're making AI videos. Do I still recommend Convex? Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a really great service. How do you handle feature progress status? Do you use background job system? How do you handle feature progress status? We actually have cards here. Not cards. So for every card I make, there's a feature folder that gets created in this automakers directory. I should probably ignore that. Actually, no, I don't want to ignore it. So it's not hooked into GitHub issues. It's not hooked into like, what's the one that everyone talks about? I forget what it's called, linear. Like this is just all the things that you need to work on are locally. And the reason I'm doing that is because it works for my workflow. I'm building this tool for myself, I'll be honest. If you guys want to use it at some point, that's cool. But I'm building it for myself, and like having to jump the GitHub issues when you have 7 different projects set up, when you're the only one working on them, like the best thing you could do is just have a to-do MD file. The next step from that is to like have this type of flow where you have all these different features. And inside of here, you have the actual feature JSON. This is where it kind of describes the state of the feature. And then we also have the output of the agent here. So as the agent's churning through, it's writing everything to a file. In case Electron crashes, you can load up the app again and all the stuff's there. You can just resume it. The agent can kind of kick back and start doing what it's doing. And there's a get state JSON file. I think this is just keeping track of what it had to change. App Electron to get the feature working. Which this might be broken. I don't know why there's so many file changes here. I think there's something going wrong with how the LLM knows what changed, because this prompt, I'm finding it very hard to drag the cards. Should not have changed like 30 files. So what's the name of I don't know if he's still in the stream. I'll reach out to him. Someone else kind of worked on that. Are you using the paid Super Whisper? No, I just use the free stuff. What shifted in your mind to be that much more in a good mood about AI coding? You were a bit down on so long ago. Yeah, so for those of you who watched my stream and you managed to watch that video I published for like a couple hours and then I deleted it. At some point, it was like 3 or 4 months ago, like I was legit depressed about AI. Like just legit depressed. And then I said, screw it. And I'm just like, I'm going all in on it now. Like, it's just, I'm done fighting it. I'm just going all in. It just seems like the right thing to do. Like, the writing's on the wall, in my opinion. And when you just embrace it and just say, screw it. Like, I'm still looking through the code eventually and be like, okay, well, this looks like a really sloppy way to implement this feature. Like, this whole feature right here, like, do you think AI implemented it for us? Or, like, do you think I actually prompted the idea of making a separate folder for every feature and then putting these different files inside there? And then if there's images attached to it, putting those images and screenshots inside of that. That's something that I directed the AI to do. Which sometimes the AI can plan it for you. But there's still value in like being a good engineer. Okay, let me not call myself a good engineer. There's still value in being an engineer and like being able to direct these agents and making the code that they create the highest possible output possible. Because I've seen some pretty sloppy code. These agents basically just copy and paste code all over your code base. And if you just let that go for like a week of vibe coding, it becomes harder and harder to modify the code. Like you'll ask it to do something and it just will never figure it out because the code was so sloppy. Or you'll ask it to like tweak a style somewhere and it changes it in one button, but then there's like 30 other buttons in your app that have like a broken style. And you're like, okay, this is a sign that the button is not a reusable thing used throughout my code base. And so it's kind of good to make sure you understand how these agents are just adding slop code to your code base so you can come back through and give it context files that say, hey, you know, when you add a button, you should definitely make sure that it's a shadcn button instead of like making your own button HTML and like copying, pasting Tailwind styles onto it. Otherwise, like you will not be able to basically re-theme stuff, you know? Like if your code is not written properly and all using a shared component library, like there's no way you could just re-theme your entire application in a single prompt. And that's basically how we added this. Because we're building on top of shadcn, everything in the app is basically like a reusable card or a button, and we can just change the styles in one place and have it basically work. So it's kind of like knowing how code works under the hood can just make your code look a lot better. Make your code, add features to your code a lot easier is what I'm trying to say. What's up, Zultez? I'm right with you. I had a skip level with our CIO, Big Corpo, and that conversation is attitude towards AI and getting with the times just kind of got me ready to embrace it. Yeah, I mean, and listen, like I said, I've been coding for like 13 years, and so I have been doing pair programming for a very long time at my work. And not only do I know how I code, and I've watched other people code, we are pretty bad at coding. Like humans are just very bad at coding. We will spend hours trying to fix simple bugs that I've seen an agent fix in 5 seconds or 10 seconds. And I've seen that enough where I'm like, dude, why are we fighting this? Like, why do we think that we can write code better than these agents? And like, look at React. This guy is saying the React security vulnerability. React was written with before AI, and they're still shipping vulnerabilities. You know, it's super complex. Next.js is super complex. This was all written before the AI times. And I feel like they have like a security vulnerability often, you know? No, I don't. Honestly, my advice about the React security vulnerability, I would say get off Next.js. I don't like using it anymore. I use TanStack Start. And if you're actually smart, get off React entirely. Like use Vite, use Svelte. I mean, sorry, not Vite. Use Vue or Svelte. I use React for all my stuff just because I'm like, you know, I'm neck deep in the water with React. I'm not going to switch off of it. But I just think there's better solutions that are less convoluted. No offense. But these LLMs are kind of trained on React, so it's just really nice when you can like one prompt all these features, and it just does it in React so well. I'd rather not code without AI at this point. It makes you so much more productive. It's wild. Yeah, absolutely. It probably does get status, shake my head, or SMH to get change files, not Claude's own tracker, which I don't know if there's such a feature. If you had to decide between Claude Code and Cursor, which would you choose? Yeah, I mean, I use both. And actually, that's what I kind of talk about and teach in my course is both. I think they're both very useful. The issue I have with Claude Code is that although it's great and Opus 4.5 is great, it's not the best model for every feature. Gemini 3.0 Pro is great for UI stuff and like making UIs look nicer and redesigning UIs. But you don't have access to that with Claude Code. So using another tool like OpenCode, which is a CLI tool that you can basically hook into all these different models, or using Cursor, having one tool that allows you to have some type of router where you can try different models. Like literally every month there's a new model that comes out that's like better than the rest, like Grok comes out, or GPT-5 5.2 probably come out soon. Being able to try these things is very useful, and that's why I say you should probably at least have Cursor. And sometimes you do have to get your hands dirty and go look at the code. And so you do need an IDE if you're going to do professional development. Like a lot of the stuff I do on my channel, it's like small side projects. It's not the same as if you're working on an actual like project used by a ton of people in the world. And if you ship a bug to production or security vulnerability, like that comes back to you and you get fired. Versus a side project that literally no one uses, who cares? Like I'm just going to vibe code it. I'm having fun shipping all this stuff. You know, so Cursor and Claude Code. My default is usually Claude Opus. 4.5, like it just cooks, man. It can just turn out so much stuff. Let's see, what did it do here? This thing is struggling to implement whatever this feature is. Just go ahead and restart this. Okay, so the thing I'm trying to fix, which no model can fix. Look at that, I still cannot click the drop down. Like, it's so bad. So, I mean, although I do like AI and I think it's great, like you're going to run into issues like this where I have prompted Opus 4.5 like 7 times to fix this drop down, this type ahead, combo box, whatever you want to call it. I prompted GPT-5 Codex High fast to fix it. It cannot fix it. And honestly, I could probably just go and read the shadcn docs, import the combo box, and get this working in like 2 minutes. So don't get too complacent and lazy with AI. I think sometimes you'll just keep on prompting and prompting and prompting until it works. And it's like, no, you could probably just fix it by hand, man. Can you fix this? It still doesn't work. Well, we're going to prompt it again. Use warp. Nah. I need to try warp. There's so many stuff I need to try. You hate Nuxt? What's wrong with Nuxt? I hear a lot of good things about Nuxt. It's very undercooked. Oh, okay. I haven't really tried it. I just have someone on my Discord who swears by Vue and Nuxt. And he hates React with a passion. How can you know that a project is created by AI agent is secure and free of vulnerabilities? The same way you check if an app written by humans is free from security and vulnerabilities. Like you have to read through the code and understand it. You have to prompt AI and have it review the code. You should probably have some type of agent hooked into your pull requests to do security checks on stuff. There's tools like OWASP you can run over your code base when it's deployed to a staging environment to check for these type of things. But at the end of the day, like the buck stops at you, so you got to check your stuff. You got to check your code. How can you know that a project created by a human is... Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I just literally... I didn't even read this. I just said like what my opinion was, and then I saw that you basically posted this. So exactly, like, I think people like to elevate the status of human coders as like the best code written, but there's so much bad code written by humans. There's bad code written by AI. There's bad code written by humans. Could be a portal issue. Yeah. Okay, Codex can't fix it. Let's go back to, let's try one more thing. Do I want to try Gemini 3? I don't think Gemini 3 will be able to fix this. This still doesn't seem to work. Can you try to fix this combo box issue? Like I still can't click on the values. And then sometimes you'll spend like 30 minutes trying to do it, and it's like a caching issue. It's like, okay, I just needed to stop my app and restart it. And so it's like, you can't forget about that stuff. Anyway, let's just go here. On the agent output modal... I swear I deleted this one. On the agent output modal, do not show the spinner. Like, there's weird things happening in this app where I feel like I have deleted stuff, and it comes back. The update feature status MCP tool has experienced connection issues. Please manually update the feature. Interesting. I don't know if we even need the feature. Git state electron. I don't know why we even have an MCP, honestly. One of the things that has stopped me from growing as a developer. Today, I work at a company where I deal with a lot of geolocation. Hey, Cody, a developer since 2019 here. I want to say thank you for allowing me to see the importance of using math to understand problems is a key in this career and part of one of our purposes. Yeah, math is definitely important. I mean, if you're doing geolocation, I think it's kind of important. Or if you're doing games, like if building a game engine, math is very important. Geometry. But in terms of web development, math is not important. I don't think I've worked on any feature that really involves a lot of math. You should remind the model that the dropdown is in modal. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Let's see. Looks like it's done. I'm just going to do a hard refresh on everything just in case there's like some type of weird caching issue going on. Oh, wait, let me scroll up. This is my marketing opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and just make sure this is always showing, you know. All right, so let's click new. Let's click on this. Let's type in Kanban. And I still can't click it. And when I do that, it doesn't actually show. And let's just go to shadcn combobox can't click value. I bet you there's an open GitHub issue. But the input field isn't focused and I can't select anything. Like, man, I don't know, shadcn. I feel like everything touching next is just like buggy. Are we still using a combo box? All right, let's get off a cursor real quick. I think my context window might be polluted at this point. Combo box, Kanban. So we want the add feature. Pop over, category autocomplete, category autocomplete. I want to open this one. I'm going to close out of this stuff. All right, let's think for a second. I also don't like how the combo box is like above it. Almost 1,000 issues on this repo. Yeah, that could be something. Let's actually go command popover. Button popover. What is this? I think I might have just built its own component here. Yeah, it's like building its own component. So I think someone in the chat mentioned something good. Like we could just go to shadcn, go to combo box, and like honestly just look at the code here. And we are just gonna refactor this whole category autocomplete. So let's load up Claude Code. Okay. Still got some credits left. We're gonna drop this in. Analyze the way the category autocomplete is implemented, and instead I'm going to paste some shadcn combo box code. I want you to implement it exactly with the code that I'm sending you because I know it works. Oh, I should have pasted this first. I built an inventory status prediction app a year ago for work that used a few advanced algorithms which required a deeper understanding of math, but yeah, it's not something you come across every day. On the popover component, set the modal prop to true. Okay. Well, now I'm refactoring everything, so maybe when it gets done, I can do that. You said on the popover? Actually, let's check to see if the issue is not that, first of all. So let's not change that yet. Go back over here. I still cannot select stuff. So now let's go to modal true. Yeah, it's just like totally broken. I'm gonna discard that, honestly. Anyway, we can fix this, I guess, later. This worked for me, thanks. This looks appealing. Let's see. Command input or combo box inside a dialog not working. You need to use the command dialog instead of popover. What are we using? Check what imminent cap suggested. It may be the issue. Did the AI write the shadcn component? It does that sometimes instead of adding it to CLI. Yeah, I mean, I could try to just manually add the popover and stuff. I think I'd overwrite it, right? Let's go to shadcn. What installs do we need? Okay, I guess I need command and I need popover. Command. Let's just manually run this one. It should overwrite. Yes. Oh no, it's gonna mess up my dialogue. Crap. I guess I could just revert the dialogue. I think we did some custom changes there. I don't know if I want to mess that up. Command and what was the other one? Popover. What the heck is popover? Oh, here it is. I don't think I changed this one. Man, I wanted the vibe code and now we're back to actually coding. What a drag. Okay, that still doesn't work. So now let's go to the combo box. All right, one more time. I've attached the shadcn combo box example code. Can you refactor this category autocomplete to use the exact example I provided? This is the last time I'm gonna try. If not, someone else can fix it. Like one of those, how many engineers can it take to fix a combo box? But I think you're right. It's probably like the portal issue, the modal true issue. Yeah, I mean, definitely you gotta have a lot of human intervention on this stuff, right? Remember, the drop-down list is not clickable / selectable when used inside the dialog. Like build your component library first and reuse, yeah. This is one of those moments where AI just refuses to cook. How do you deal with the Opus 4.5 limits? I mean, when I hit my limits, I'm probably just gonna either upgrade to the next plan version. Do you feel playwright tests help or are more of a time waster? I don't know. It's really hard to say. I mean, it definitely wastes a lot more time. But, I mean, how else is the agent going to know what it's implementing is correct? If you don't do playwright tests, then you have to, like, either trust the AI, which no one would trust the AI, right? You can't even do a combo box correctly. Or you have to manually verify everything, which is it's an okay solution, manually verifying all the features. But I do think that at least having it open up a headless browser, clicking on things, and making sure that stuff gets added to the database, I think that can add some value, and it just takes longer. And so that's why this is something that you probably want to like kick off when you're going to bed or like you're just busy doing something. Like sometimes I'll just load up the backlog with like 5 or 6 items. Excuse me, I'll put the concurrency at like 1 or 2, and I'll go off and do something else, right? And I'll come back and I'll manually verify everything. But I mean, if it can get 80 or 90% of the features done, and then I just have to come back through and maybe do a couple more reprompts, I think that's very valuable. And I think having Playwright do the tests a little bit, kind of like a test-driven development approach, I think it's pretty good, pretty valuable. Look at that. I added this just so that when I stream, my head is like, you know, not blocking stuff. All right, last thing I'm going to try. Actually, no, this is the last test I'm going to do. I can click it. Look at that. Oh my gosh. 15 prompts in and $500 worth of Claude Code credits, and I finally have a popover working the way it should. Although it's kind of weird that it's like centered here. But we'll roll with it. It's fine. It's whatever. Okay, so I have a bunch of features that are like... Let me delete this one. Can you increase the margins of the text button so when... Yeah, let me see this. Looks good. It's finding it hard to drop show more. Oh, we got the show more button. Look at that. On the delete card dialog / modal that pops up, make sure the delete button has a command enter listener so I can quickly just delete it. Can you make use of the text in the card? Yeah, I think I did that one. Okay. After this one, I do want to commit everything. Yeah, I guess I'll go back to chat. Your prompting just isn't good. Yeah, pretty much. Hope my setting view refactoring. I don't think I made many changes to settings. But I'm sure you're going to get some refactoring issues, some conflicts. Cool. All right. I'm going to make a pull request for this stuff. Let's see, refactor features into directories. Let me just auto do this. Okay, so this pull request has like the whole features list refactoring. Settings view. All right, let me pull in main real quick. And I guess it is worth pointing out, if you're working on a project with different people, when you get merge conflicts, like, I don't think there's any way other than to just like fix them yourself. You could probably let AI try to fix them. It's just linting issues. This kind of looks like a linting change. What is going on there? Okay. Hey, this is good. Let me make sure the app actually works. Sharon, am I good to merge this? Like, can I merge this first, or you guys want to merge your PRs? I saw there's some other pull requests going on. But I think you mentioned that you're waiting for my features list refactoring. Fix markdown rendering in the new project interview view. Fixed by Copilot. Auto scroll to the bottom when messages change. New project interview? Yeah, whatever. I trust it. UI fixes for path issues and project name adjusts some UI stylings. Yeah, feature list JSON's going away, so I mean, technically I could delete this file. Sidebar name, extract the folder name from path, works on both Windows and Mac. Okay. Looks good. No conflicts. Nice. All right, what are these conflicts about? Intelligent analysis. Kanban workflow, automatic codebase analysis and understanding. Auto generation upload of app spec. Okay. Trying to see if there's any like duplicate stuff. Let's see, image attachment support for features of category management autocomplete. I think we want the features. I added that. What got deleted here? Deleting the feature list stuff, and then we replace it with API features is possibly undefined. I think it's just a TypeScript issue, whatever. UI layout, window structure, project list, settings, logs, plugins. Honestly, this file is not that important. Phase 3 polish. Is this a linting issue? No, it looks like we're rendering Markdown now. Let me just go ahead and pull that in. The rest is probably linting or just like... Looks like some padding was changed here. PX3, PY2. Got a paragraph tag, whatever, small message. Make sure the app is working. Seems good. Cool. Got through the pull requests. You're going to add multiple steps such as design a good implementation to implement and analyze it for optimization and security. That's probably a good idea to do. I love the toaster oven sound for when it's done cooking. Yeah. What's your average monthly spend on tokens? I mean, I just have like the Claude Code subscription, and then like $20 a month Cursor subscription, and then I go some on demand, so maybe like $150. When I hit limits, I literally just take a break. Like, if it says like I have 2 hours left, like 2 hours before my token resets, then like I'll just go take a break. Something to keep in mind is that this is the worst that it will ever be. I do think something similar to Automaker is the future. Yeah, I mean, like, these agents are gotten so good in such a short amount of time. Like, it just makes sense that, like, at some point, everything will be automated. And if you just let it kind of keep on trying, it eventually gets it working. And I think just becoming good at, like, adding the right context. And, like, Young One Dev mentioned, like, having good designed phases. Like, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. And it kind of goes through those in order to really implement all your code, make sure it's clean, make sure it's secure, make sure it's performant, make sure it's documented, and then you can move on to the next. But we do have stages. I mean, we do have steps. I'd have to go and, like, if we add a new feature here, you go to testing, you can add verification steps here. Although I think this is swapped. When skip automation testing is off, this needs some redesigning, but I think the verification steps were put in place to, like, tell the AI how it can test itself. Like, what is a test-driven development approach? But I've been neglecting the whole testing thing because honestly, like, most of these features I add in, I just don't do the testing. I just manually verify. But I think having this work better for auto mode is one of my goals too. The Automaker doesn't do PRs, not yet. I think there was some work to do GitHub work trees, and Sharon did some work for doing, like, commits automatically from the UI. But we got to figure out a solution to that. I mean, we probably have to, like, do work trees so that the commits are clean and it makes pull requests for it. That's probably, like, the #1 feature people would probably request if this thing started getting used by people. But after you reach like 50 components, it becomes so hard. Yeah. You can just see the AI kind of like struggling to make progress when the project is larger. For the UI loading progress updates, do you use a polling based or an event approach? I believe it's polling, but it's not like hitting a backend endpoint or anything. It's literally just polling the Electron app. So there's like an Electron application running, and there's actual like Next.js application, and they communicate with, I think it's called an ICP or IPC. I don't know what that stands for. Electron IPC, internal protocol communication. I don't know. Let's see what this is. What does mean? Let me switch to Composer. Inter-process communication. Okay, so basically it allows, like, the isolated Next.js sandbox to communicate with Electron, because Electron's the only thing that has access to your files and stuff, right? So you have to kind of have like a messaging between them. But we could also ask, when the card is in progress, how does it know when it's done? Does it poll for its updates? Or is there messaging that tells it it's done? Event-based messaging, send to receiver auto mode feature complete. Yeah, so it looks like this comes from the IPC stuff. This is in the Electron folder. So the Electron app will send a message to the Next.js app saying, hey, like, this thing's done. And then Next.js will update its React state and kind of show the updated view, I believe. But it looks like there's a polling mechanism. Is current auto task is true? While the card is in progress, is current auto task is true? It polls every 3 seconds to refresh the context file. Oh, I think it's because the AI writes to a file as it's like thinking and generating context. That could probably also be sent through IPC as well, but I mean, honestly, it's fine. Yo, Sharon, what's the point of this stuff up here? Like, I know it changes the view of the card. I just don't really... Like, the middle one doesn't do anything. We have compact view and you have expanded view. And I think it shows when it's running, it'll show more stuff. I'm just... Standard step in progress. Model, tools, and tasks. Detailed. Minimal, title, and category only. Steps in progress. What is this one again? Detailed, model, tools, and tasks. I mean, I'm the one who refactored to put it here. This used to live somewhere else. I think it lived in settings, but I pulled it out because I think this is something that could be useful to easily switch through as you're like using the Kanban board. What other features should we add to this? What are your thoughts on scaling these applications, like purely vibe-coded applications from the start? It's hard to scale them unless you actually know how to reprompt it to make the code better. Like, it just reaches a point where it's like unmaintainable. Like, you can read through the code and it's just nasty. You have like components that are like 3,000 lines long, and like the AI will refuse to like by default like refactor these huge components into smaller subcomponents. Which typically means that like it's going to use a lot more tokens. And so your agents are going to be slower, your LLM takes longer to change stuff. It's a higher chance that it's going to break stuff because your context window grows. And so it does take like an effort to like make sure that you're prompting properly, to keep on decoupling your code and extracting stuff into smaller subcomponents, pulling stuff up into adapters and making it more extensible. I've seen it add in magic numbers all throughout code bases. And so you have to be proactive and like refactor my code and pull all the magic numbers out to a shared configuration file or something. I've seen it, like we just saw on the stream, it basically tried to code a combo box by hand instead of using the shadcn component that we already have. So it does take babysitting, and honestly, I don't know how far vibe coding can take you. I think it can take you to a working prototype, and you could probably make a lot of money building out like a cool app if you have a really good app idea. Like, you could probably go from 0 to something in production, getting money. And then at that point, I think you're going to have to hire someone who's like more proactive at looking through the code and reviewing it. Or maybe just someone who's better at context engineering, who can like set up these agents to automatically go and review and refactor code. Like, kind of like, you know, Automaker, but you could have like a refactor mode, right? If we could set up Automaker that basically just look through all the code base, throw in a bunch of backlog items of things it could refactor, and then just let it cook all night, come back, and you have your entire code base much more clean. Which could probably be a cool feature to add in. We do have this one right here, which right now just kind of gives you feature suggestions, but I think if we had a way to have it toggle performance suggestions, refactoring suggestions, feature suggestions, UX improvement suggestions, like you could actually have all these different things that you could pick here, and then that will just add in a bunch of items to the backlog that you can then just kick off. Might be cool. The AI often lacks visual taste. Yeah, I mean, even with like layout and UX and styling, like you have to provide it snapshots or screenshots of what a good UI looks like. Give it example HTML files of like what a well-designed Tailwind component looks like, because the models are trained on like bad code. They need to go through and find a way to like train all the models on like beautifully crafted websites. Hi, I'm from Morocco. What's up? I don't think AI does a great at styling and layout. Yeah, AI, okay. I have Claude Code Max. I think it's like the 5X one, the $100 a month one. How much those tokens will cost when Anthropic or Google starts charging for profit? Yeah, I mean, we'll have to reevaluate how we're doing the whole like agentic coding stuff. Like when they decide to either charge more for their LLMs, or maybe the technology will get better where this stuff will become cheaper. Maybe the government will just keep on subsidizing these companies so that the models are always low cost. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to predict. I think it's kind of myopic to think that these are going to end up like being charged more. Maybe they can just, I don't know. I think also if they turned off these agents for like, dare I say, script kiddies, like people who just basically are asking the agent for like the simplest things, and like lock it, like the premium models for actual professionals trying to do work, I bet you they wouldn't be burning through so much money, because I bet you there's so many people just like prompting AI questions that are just like wasting electricity and compute. I will test that later. Once you're done, just ping me. Okay. Alrighty. Been streaming for about an hour and 30 minutes. So I think I might actually call the stream. But if you guys are interested, I did make my course public. If you guys want a overview of the way I do agentic coding, my workflows, the stuff you're seeing on the stream right now, this is more like vibe coding. I personally don't do vibe coding on like legit projects. This is a side project, and I'm okay just like, you know, testing out these models, see how they vibe code. But for like more professional work, I review every line of code. I want to make sure I understand the code base and how it's evolving. If you see my Survive the Night game, like I understand how the performance and the networking and how the rendering engine works. I understand all of that code because I prompt the AI and then I review the code and then I like refactor the code with more prompts. So I have like a workflow of my own process. I think everyone is kind of experimenting how to work best with AI. But my course kind of teaches the way I do it, walks you through Claude Code and Cursor. And then also we build out a full stack application with Drizzle and shadcn and all this cool stuff. So check it out if you're interested. And then you also get access to Automaker if you guys want to play around with this too. If you join the course, I will give you access to Automaker as we build it out. Eventually, this will probably become open source and people can kind of use it as they want, but I want to polish it up. My name's going to be attached to it. I want to make sure it looks nice.